Look who decided to join us. Okay, don't have a lot of time, so let's move on. The next question comes from Artisan Tony. By the way, I want you to subscribe to his channel. Say that Fred sent you. Another awesome channel. And the question is, when are you coming to visit the Artisan Tony channel in Tennessee? I can cure you of that old revolver love, because I was showing by Smith & Wesson 686. I am proud of you for loving the AK platform over the plastic platform of the AR. Just so you know, he's not anti-AR. As a matter of fact, he has a video where he basically put all wood furniture on his AR and it looks awesome. Oh, I need to answer the question. I will come when I retire or I win the lottery and I can live out my retirement dream of traveling the country in a Winnebago, and I will stop off at all my favorite YouTube friends as I travel around the country. And I'll do YouTube videos while I do it. Would that be cool? Next question comes from Looking Furby Marbles, another great channel. I'd like you to subscribe. And his question is, tits or ass? This is a clean channel. I try to keep it clean for kids, you know that. But to answer your question, both. The next question comes from Xprez308. And the question is, where in God's name do you store all your gear? Have a great weekend and many thanks for all your great videos. Best of luck from Norway. Yeah, good question. Where do I store all my gear? Well, I use a lot of it, and a lot of it is locked up in a safe, and others it's in a container, and I do give away some of it. So one possible thing I might do in the future is to maybe sell this stuff on eBay. You know, there's a lot of things I don't use. I basically unpackage it, I give you an unboxing and a first impression, and then I never mess with it again. So I might start selling that stuff on eBay, but I don't want people to think I'm selling out, you know, by buying the stuff and selling, you know. So I'm not sure about it. So we'll see. Next question comes from KBar666, and it's, what do you think about the Bear Grylls Survival 2-pack? I think I'm picking one up, but can't find any good reviews. It's not a kit you already reviewed, but the one that comes when it looks like a good light, the newer multi-tool and fire start tool. There is a really nice Bear Grylls fire starter, and what really interests me is the pack sheath it all comes in. Well, if I haven't reviewed it, I can't really give you my honest opinion. For the most part, most of the Bear Grylls stuff is pretty good. I was not really impressed with that. The survival kits. But as far as the multi-tool pack, I really don't know, but most of the tools are pretty good, maybe $5 or $10 overpriced in some cases because you're paying for the Bear Grylls name, but the quality seems to be there with most of the stuff. I think as far as the knives are concerned, I think that the smallest, the really tiny one, and the Scout, the smaller ones, I wasn't too crazy about. The rest of them I liked. Next is, do you have a new favorite coffee? And this came from Pedin33. My favorite coffee right now is the Caribou blend from Caribou Coffees. Pretty good stuff. Next comes from Energo Team Series, or Energo Team Series. In case of a disaster strike, like a money apocalypse, or you need to move from your home with no car that you can have forever, what backpack and what items you will like to carry to be light enough so that you can take them with you all the time and you could help you survive for a while? I hate these long questions. For a while and far away from people's locations. Um, this actually is not my plan for survival. Usually, if crap hits the fan, usually the lone wolf trying to survive in the woods is not going to work, because if you get injured or you get bit by something or you catch something where you need penicillin or some sort of medicine, you're just going to be out there and die without help from other people. People in general don't survive on their own. We like to be with each other, even though some of us hate people in general. But I I have a go pack. I have a crap hits the fan or bob pack or whatever, and it changes. I'll find new products and I'll go, oh, this is cool, and I'll change it out. I don't have any set particular thing. There are some basic things that you should have. You should have like some money in small denominations. You should have a gallon of water for each person a day. There are some good basic rule of thumb kind of things. You should have some sort of food that has a really long shelf life. The kind that dehydrates might be good if you're going to stick around and you have a good water supply, but if you don't, then you need maybe those power bars or bars that last a long time, or the specialized food that you can take that's lightweight but high protein and things that you need. A good knife. And I have some YouTube videos on the subject, and many others do too. I don't want to spend that much time to really go into any more detail than that. Next question is TX Wingnut 62. Wingnut is another name for Air Force folks. And what motivates you to make YouTube videos? Very good question. Very good question. What motivates me? Well, it started out with, I just got back into guns, and I wanted people to see me shooting them. Friends and family. Hey, check this out. Here I am shooting a gun, and everyone's like, especially my family. They're all used to it now, but some of them have shoot too, so that's good. But when I started posting those videos and other people started seeing them, I started getting comments like, that's not the way you hold it, or that's not the way, or you're not doing this safe, or whatever. And some of the for the most part, the comments were very educational. If you have thin skin, don't be posting videos on YouTube. And I'll tell you, I took everything way too personally at first, but eventually you learn and you get thicker skin, which makes me a better person. And anyone else who does is a better person. If you fight every person that has a negative comment, you are not going to enjoy yourself doing videos on YouTube. So it became a learning experience. And again, people, learning how to survive is part of life. And people, generally, the more knowledge, it helps you survive. And so it helps you fulfill what you're supposed to be doing with your life. So I get to learn a lot, and then hopefully I'm putting something out that helps you learn. So we're sort of teaching each other. We're sharing common hobbies, and it's fun. So that's really what inspires me or motivates me to do YouTube videos. Next comes from High Point 45, and the question is, do you keep all the gear that you test? Congrats on 300 videos. For the majority of stuff I keep, and the house is filling up, but I'm well armed, so whatever. Again, I do have some possible plans of maybe starting to sell things on eBay or use them for giveaways. So, next question is from Nick Wu 2, and another long-time subscriber that I really appreciate. And the question is, how much use have you put on your black powder pistol? Is it annoying to keep reloading or fun? Reloading it is part of the fun. For some people, for me it is, the whole process of reloading. Plus, it slows you down so you don't shoot as much money down range. And I've had it to the range several times, but really haven't recently, for the past year. Next question comes from Canadian Knife Expert. The question is, do you enjoy camping in the great outdoors? If so, how many times per year? Thanks. Now you would think someone who reviews so much survival gear spends a lot of time in the great outdoors, but that would be my backyard. I've done some things. I've dug a big hole and made a solar still in my backyard. Um, I actually do. I'm starting to get the itch to do some camping or some rustic living out there. A tent and some outdoor stuff to actually put a lot of this knowledge to use might be coming very shortly. So as far as now, I haven't done any camping for years and years and years, but I do plan on doing it. So I'm probably going to be picking up some sort of tent and maybe doing some camping with some friends here soon. Next comes from Rowdy Outdoors. This is a channel, by the way, that is up and coming, and he has a great contest going on where you can win some really cool Henry stuff. Um, and I want everybody to please, please, please subscribe to Rowdy Outdoors. You'll see it right here. Please tell them that Fred sent you. Really, really good channel, and you can win some great prizes in a contest he's running right now. So he writes, congrats on your 300th. I agree with you in regards to reviews and how you may feel obligated. Personally, I keep my reviews to products that I would purchase and use. Be sure to enter my giveaway contest. I would hate for you to miss it. My question for you is, in your opinion, what is the best survival kit you have reviewed? Keep in mind that my best, I mean combination of cost, efficiency, component, quality, contents of the kit. Great job on your videos and reviews. Keep them coming. Well, the best one is the one that you make yourself. I've never been happy with a pre-made kit out there. And if there is a pre-made kit that is perfect, it costs too much to buy in one in one shot. So, and as far as what's supposed to be in a kit, with me, it evolves as I learn more and more. And it depends on where you are, what your environment is, and it can change from summer to winter. So how can you have a one single kit that will work perfect for everybody year round? You can't. Next comes from SOCOM Elite 187. Your favorite handgun defense ammo and your favorite rifle defense ammo. Well, I'll tell you what. Hold on and I'll be right back. Okay, I figured I'd get the boxes so I could show you what they are. So my favorite rifle ammo is the Zombie Apocalypse ammo, of course. Hornady Zombie Max. These are actually for my AK, my 7.62x39. And for the Glock I keep close at hand, I prefer the Personal Defense Federal Hydra Shocks. So there you go. I do sort of switch off the type of caliber from summer to winter generally as my primary house defense gun. In the summer, I like to, well, you know what, I don't want to, I got to keep it short. But you don't need as much penetration in the summertime as you do in the winter, because the winter people wear more clothes. Let's leave it at that. Next question is from Joseph D27. How long have you been a member of the NRA? I've been a member of the NRA for about 5 years. Next question from Rygor555. The question is, what are your top 3 worst case scenarios that you would have to rely on the equipment you review? Worst case scenarios is a natural disaster of some sort. Around here it's probably like a hurricane would be the most likely, or yeah, that would be the most likely natural. Unnatural disaster or man-made disaster would be, something happens in the closest city, and then you have all the people coming into to my town here and trying to steal stuff. And third scenario, I don't know, maybe a asteroid hits the Earth, or something that's apocalyptic. And that's a hard one, because if it hits, you don't need to worry about it. But if it's close by, you might have to move or you might not. It all depends on what resources are left. Again, it's hard to plan for everything, especially if you have limited funds. You just can't buy everything for every type of plan. So it's good to have a lot of knowledge here so you can think on the fly and sort of plan accordingly. Wow, this is getting long. We are definitely going to have multiple videos. I had to stop because the memory disk filled up there, and I already had to start importing into iMovie the whole disk worth 8 gigs. And, it's going to be a bunch of videos. So I apologize this ended up long, but you asked more questions than I ever anticipated. So moving on, Mr. Wyatt Schmidt asks, I want to say thanks and how much I enjoy and appreciate all your videos. If you were to go on a camping trip, what is all the gear you would bring? Look at my reviews. You see what I got. I would bring it. I can't go into that much detail because it would end up too long. And then the next one is Wrath of the Monarch asks, I meant where, not were. Okay. Oh, and here's the question that he asked. Congratulations on the milestone. My question, where do you get your collection of t-shirts? Just any old stores as I walk around. It could be anywhere. Target has some pretty cool t-shirts, Walmart, wherever. No particular one place. I would say the majority come from Target. Next is Gamble 2185. What's the oldest gun you owned? Well, the first gun that I owned, the first gun that I had was a old Ruger Mark II, and I also had an 870 Remington shotgun, but I had sold those. So now the oldest gun that I own, which is the first one that I have bought since I got back into guns this last time, is this Charles Daly 1911. Which I showed you at the beginning of one of these videos. That's the oldest. Now there is an older gun that I own. Literally the oldest gun I own is a Nagant revolver, and I had done a video on that quite a while ago, and that's from World War II. I also have a Mosin Nagant rifle, a M44. Which is pretty old too. Next question comes from MultiBassman62. If you could conceal carry, what would be your first choice in a handgun to carry? Keep the videos coming. Probably, since I would just be starting, I wouldn't try to carry something big because I can't conceal carry at all right now. So what I would probably start off with is with the Ruger LCP, since it's such an easy gun to carry, and also the Ruger LCR revolver. Next is Glenn72. The question is, what would you do if Hillary signs the Small Arms Treaty and they ask everyone to turn in their guns? This is a huge problem, by the way. I know you're an oath keeper, but it is a scenario I think people need to start thinking about. You're absolutely right. And for those who don't know, there is a Small Arms treaty that they've been trying to pass, try to get the U.S. involved with for years and I'm going to take a brain dump now, in the United Nations. And, we used to have no part of it, and of course this current administration is like, sure, we'll start taking interest in it, and it's a real possibility that, this could happen. But everyone's aware of it. Hopefully it won't. But if it does, it's hard to answer this question because sure, every gun owner out there, your first instinct is going to say, yeah, from my cold, dead hands. And I'm the same way. They want the guns, it's from my cold, dead hands. However, when your house is surrounded by a SWAT team, okay, um, something, something else might go on in your head at that particular moment. You might try to bury some firearms or try to store them somewhere else or do whatever, but depending on your state, they might know exactly where all your, how many guns and what guns you have. So, they could throw you in jail or do whatever, or you just go down fighting. It's a very hard question to answer, but of course my first intuition, along with most others, is like from my cold dead hands. Next one comes from Gun Web Sites. It's another channel that I highly recommend, that I subscribe to, and you should too. Say Fred sent you. And the question is, you win a contest for any gun and a year's supply of ammo. Which gun do you pick? Happy 300th. Looking forward to many more. I would probably... This is a hard question. A gun that I really have wanted for the very beginning when I started collecting guns again would be as far as a handgun, would be a CZ75. I have, it's still on my short list of one day to have, and I would love to have that. I believe that's 9mm. It might come in the other 40, in 40 caliber also. Another gun that I'm taking a lot of interest in is the Taurus Judge, one of those, but I really don't like the company because of their service and support. But I love that gun. I think Smith & Wesson has come up with something that's very similar. I might have to take a look at that, but I don't know much about it yet. But I would love to have something that, shoots the 410. It's a great car gun. And it could be a good house gun too, depending on the ammo that you use. Next question comes from Koyo2, and it says, "I'm too late. It's Saturday morning. Congrats. Don't send me nothing to me. You pay more to ship costs." You got to keep in mind that people from all over the world are answering this, so I can't speak another language at all, and these people are making some serious effort and actually are conveying their thoughts well. This is easy question, maybe dumbest question. It's not a dumb question. What kind of car do you have? The kind of car that I have is I have a regular old pickup truck, Ford Ranger pickup, and I also have a Honda Element. And the Honda Element's the same car that Hickok 45 has. I got it the first year it came out. I fell in love with it as soon as I saw it on the parking lot. That was my retirement gift to myself when I retired from the Navy. He goes on to say, you do have a knife review. You do a knife review and gun, flashlights, small gadgets. Here's a dumb question: will there be software or phone or tablet reviews? Yes, there will be. Back to business that asks if you do a review. Will there be a moment when you take that offer? Do you, or is it out of the question? Many questions. Alberto is out with a red card. Sure, if there's a company that I believe in very strongly to do reviews for, and I test the product and I love it, sure, I'll do it, but I'll know I'm not selling out because it's something that I would be using, and I would never recommend something that I don't like myself to you. Next comes from Mick Crazy Boy L. Have you ever owned a bow? No, I do want one. I've always eyeballed them. Would love to have one. When the money's available, I'll probably get one. I did use them in camp. That wasn't too bad either. Next comes from the Multi-Gun Man. The Multi-Gunman is another very long time subscriber, and I appreciate the very long time support. Go to his channel, please sub, say your friends sent you. He probably has more subs than me. What are your plans regarding ruling the world? If I tell you, it'll mess up my plans. If I were king of the world, there's a scary thought. I would reduce the government to the minimum necessary, the least amount to get by. We wouldn't have all these crazy freaking redundant laws. Gun laws are messed up because, like, if you have a gun and you kill somebody, why do you need a gun law? There's a such thing as murder. You charge the person for murder. You charge it for what the person does, not what the tool does. Anyway, there are 20,000 gun laws in this country. We don't need another one. I digress. Next one comes from FartX211, and he gets away with asking 4 questions. Cheater. Do you have any non-gear related hobbies? No. No, I do not. It all involves stuff. Second question is, any stories from your old Navy days? I think I've already told a couple. I know, I'm not helping. What's your morning routine? I wake up, take a dump, brush my teeth, comb my hair, go out the door, grab some breakfast, go to work. It's nothing exciting. Are you optimistic about today's youth in 20 years? Yeah. There's some very smart kids. I think that the kids today are show great potential, at least the ones that I know, and I think it's getting better. Next is Mac Dragster asks, have you ever commented in any shooting... Oh, have you ever competed in any shooting competitions? No, I have not. I don't like the structure. I just like to shoot and enjoy myself. I know I would fail miserably at any competition. Next question comes from One Fat Bastard. Asks, what is the meaning of life? I already told you, to survive. And once you got the basics, then you want to expand your knowledge so you can survive better and think on the fly, and maybe then try to enjoy yourself a little bit while we're here. Next is Eskidu MXZTNT. Congrats on the milestone. My question is, what long rifle would you recommend for a hunter's first rifle to achieve the overall best hunting experience? Now, first thing I'd like to state is I don't hunt. I would hunt if I had to survive. Now, I took this question very seriously. I was yesterday out at a Dick's Sporting Goods where the guy behind the gun counter, his name is Eddie, is one of the smartest freaking gun people that I know behind a gun counter. And I already had something in my head. If I couldn't speak to anybody, I was going to recommend the Savage 111 or the Savage 110. When I spoke to him, same thing. It's incredible. So we're thinking alike. And the reason why, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't recommend something I didn't have either. Here is my safety checked Savage 111, and these Savage rifles have incredible accuracy out of the box. The 111, which is this one, it's all plastic, even though the handguard is metal. The trigger guard is metal, which is nice. A lot of the cheaper rifles and the Walmart specials, like the Remington 700 series, when you get to the low end, they're plastic. The Savages are very, very accurate out of the box, and it's because the way that they are manufactured to keep the cost down. You know, the barrel has this barrel nut that screws it on to get perfect head space. That's not expensive to do. The action on these are so smooth. I mean, you try to get, you know, the 700 in the same price range, and the bolt feels gritty and, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not saying it's a bad rifle. I'm just comparing the two. The Savages have just an incredible smooth action. The 1100s have a pretty good trigger, and let's go in a safe direction. All right. Okay. Right there, and the trigger. You know, it's fairly. You know, it's not extremely heavy. It's not gritty or nothing, and it's very short. Very good. For the price range, I mean, this thing cost about, I think it was around $350. It comes with a scope and everything. It's an incredible buy, the Savage 111. Look it up on YouTube. Now, if you want to upgrade and get the AccuTrigger, and maybe get something with some wood furniture, look at the Savage 110. Now, these come in a whole assortment of calibers. This specific one is the 270. Very flat shooting round, very strong round. It's good for anything in North America. I already have a 30-06, which is the Tikka T3 Lite, but I would recommend this over the Tikka, especially if you're looking for the most accuracy and value for your money. You just can't go wrong with a good old American Savage. Next question comes from Outdoors and Gear CA, I guess California. Do you ever return gear after you reviewed it and decide you're not very happy with it? Recently reviewed a Gerber remixes and you hated one of them. Yeah, I do. And you were thinking, damn, I would return this thing. Yeah, this is the one I probably should have returned, but the problem is that I had taken this all apart to smooth it out. So I don't like to return things that I alter. It's not fair. I still don't like it. I just use it to trash, you know, just to trash. A recent thing that I reviewed was that Coleman light that had the crank on it. I was just, you know, for $44, it just wasn't worth it. I mean, I would recommend it for maybe 20 in the 20s, but not $44. So I brought it back, but I very, very, very rarely bring things back. Maybe for my whole channel, maybe about 4 items, and that's it. Next is the Scotchin 1500. Well, I can't think of a question, Fred, so I will just thanks for keeping me entertained for 300 videos. Your videos are always educational and well thought out. By the way, I EDC the Storm 2 and have for 3 years. It's my favorite also. Big mistake by Kershaw to discontinue. I really, really agree with you. That was a great knife. There it is. I had it on my turntable. I love this Storm. Kershaw, you should have never discontinued this knife. I tightened it up actually. Should have never discontinued that. Gorgeous. Next comes from Turtle Wax Gaming. How did you make your YouTube so big, and why did you create the channel? I didn't make it so big, you did. Also, again, with a lot of help from Mad Bad Voodoo, or Colonel Richard Hunter is his current channel. As far as why I do it to learn. Next is Axel So BF. I'm sorry if I'm messing this up. What's your philosophy on Russian rifles? What's your philosophy on Russian rifles? The SKS, the Sega AK style. Are you only collecting this camping and knife stuff, or do you use your gear too. I use some of the gear, and I'll be using it more and more as we go. As far as my philosophy on Russian rifles, they are built like a tank. They tend not to be as accurate as some others out there, but you know, sometimes people put in some really cheap ammo into these guns, and then they say that the gun's not accurate. They're accurate enough for, you know, what they're intended use for. They are more than accurate enough, and what I like about them is that it doesn't require a lot of skill to maintain them, and they don't break very often. They're just rock solid. And because of that, they make great survival guns because of that. Please make more shooting videos, more outdoor videos, and tell us more stories. You make a awesome channel. Thanks for 300 videos. Stay healthy, keep filming, and I wish you the best from Germany. Cool. Axel. I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you. Next question is, what or who influenced you to make YouTube videos? Well, really, I just started off myself, but as far as people who influenced me and gave me ideas, again, Mad Voodoo, of course, you know, Nothing Fancy, what he was doing, so it did influenced what I did. The Armory channel, I was watching him early on, so I'd say that those are some of the influences right there, but there are many other channels. Next, oh, that came from Ben Cannon 2. I'm sorry. That was Ben Cannon 2. Next one comes from Yad Jankum, and he has, with the seemingly you knew I can't pronounce big words. Irreversible economic, political, and constitutional downward slope the U.S. is sliding into. Have you given any deep thought to and reconcile the possibility that you may one day have to end the life of another American, crack dealer, gangbanger? Those are easy questions. A desperate neighbor just trying to survive. It's a dark but important question to contemplate for anyone who owns or carries a gun. Too dark for many. Congrats. Really the military sort of gave me the mindset to really be able to shoot someone if I had to. I don't think I would have any problem, but again, until you experience it, you really can't really say, can you? As far as my neighbors around here, I don't know them. I tend not to talk to my neighbors. I don't want to know them. It seems like whenever I friend a neighbor, they turn out to be a freak show. So we sort of keep to ourselves. I got cameras around the house. I try to make it look scary, and people are, well, I'm in the house on the neighborhood says, you better not go over there. Those people are weird. But I do understand that in a survival situation, if you're a parent and your kid's starving, you're going to do anything to feed your kid, and I'm going to have to deal with that. So, you know, I have enough stuff where I'll have like a very small percentage to give away to help, but it's only to a point. And then you keep on bugging me, you keep on coming back, and I tell you not to, I guess you're dead. Because, you know, you're surviving. That's what life is about. Survival of the fittest is really what nature has done to us. Next is point blank to you. There seems to be a lot of vagueness. Do you think EDC knives should be included under the individual state CCW laws? That's concealed carry laws for guns. My answer is no, they should not. There shouldn't even be laws for concealed carry guns. You have laws for the acts that you could do with these tools. That's enough. Vermont and Alaska get along just fine without gun laws. Blood is not running in the streets. I think there was another state that also went to where you don't need any special thing for concealed carry. So, you know, if you want a good example of, you know, taking this whole gun banning thing in the total opposite direction, check out a town called Kennesaw, Georgia. That's a county that made every homeowner have to own a gun. Look where their crime rate is. Next question comes from Flo Capo Adam, and it just says, congratulations Fred Hart on 300 videos. I thank you very much. Next is Spec Ops 56. Have you and the Plate of Truth ever tested Ezox? And the answer is no. I have not, because I tend to review things that I find in local stores. I do order occasionally, but I just let things come to me generally. But he states that he's used it for years and is an excellent bore cleaner, surface rust remover, and protectant. Not the best lube though. Its real claim to fame is that the more you use it, it's supposed to bond with the pores of the metal and provide protection for easier cleaning. I have not had any way to test that claim. If you want to test it, I'd be happy to send you some. And that's from Terry. I think Militech also claims to bond and work into the metal. Let me think about it. Again, I don't have a good way of testing it either, so I don't know what good that would really do. But it sounds like a great product. But I have no way of testing. I have no way of testing Militech other than putting it on the Plate of Truth, putting it out there, see how good it does. But the ability to but it's not going to be able to go through the heat cycles to bond into the metal on the Plate of Truth, so it's not going to be a true representation of what it's claiming it can do. So I don't want to make it look bad. Next comes from Awesome Seeker Dude 999, and it says, what kind of videos do you like to watch here on YouTube? I like to watch reviews on guns and knives and things from a lot of those channels that I recommend. I also like to watch musical groups and things like that. I also like to watch Fail Blog, where you can watch people doing some really stupid stuff and almost killing themselves. Funny stuff like that. Next comes from Cyclist01222, another longtime supporter and someone who has a outstanding channel. If you don't subscribe to him, please say Fred sent you. Right here, Mr. Cyclist. Check out his channel. He corrects me on a lot of my mistakes too. He's pretty sharp because I do make mistakes. And I learn. See, I learn. Congrats on the 300 videos, Fred. I can tell you that there are some of the good material that makes up the fabric of our great country. And there is no need to quiz you on the crazy philosophical mumbo jumbo, so let's get right down to the important stuff that really matters. Sanchez or Tebow? So he knows I'm a Jet fan. And my answer is Tebow. I even asked, I was like walking around Staples yesterday, and I just walked up to someone because they had a Jet shirt and just asked that same question to see what his response is. Guess what? Tebow. Oh, man. Next question is from McCaffin89, and it's a congrats on 300 subs. Your video on the Sega conversion was good. I did mine after watching your video. What do you do with all that stuff that you review? Everybody wants to know what I do with all my crap. I hide it for the apocalypse. It's good. You gotta remember, if you got like an apocalyptic event, and money is only worth the paper it's printed on and coins. So you're gonna go to a barter system and trade. So actually, that's the currency of the future. So I'm hoarding money of the future. Next question comes from Adardum Mendes 0. Congrats on 300. My question is, which is your favorite YouTube channel besides your own? Actually, my own is not my favorite YouTube channel because I hate listening to myself talk, so I don't understand why you all keep on listening. My favorite YouTube channel is, here we go again, Colonel Richard Hunter. There's actually another channel that I love watching, and I don't understand why he doesn't have as many um, subscribers as he does, but check out Marvin the Boon, say that Fred sent you. Marvin the Boon, another great channel. Next comes from Fog360, and it's, wow, 300 vids. Cool, bro. Next is Godzilla's Love Child. Another long-time subscriber, and I subscribe. Really good channel. Question is, congrats on the 300. You neglected to mention that your favorite shotgun, what your favorite shotgun is. Can you share with us that? And thanks. Okay, my favorite shotgun I happen to have right here. And it's safety checked. I actually had to unload this one because this is another ready home defense. And this is the Benelli Nova. It's not the Supernova, it's just a regular Nova pump. I love this. Great defense. You can see I have an extended magazine tube on here. And I plan in a future video really soon to mount a light on this. So really great shotgun. I was talking to Eddie at Dick's. There's so many new shotguns coming out too. There's a new Remington that's, you know, has all that polymer stuff, and even the barrel is coated with polymer. That it's great all weather. But I haven't played with it or handled it to be able to give you any good constructive criticism or pros for it yet. Next comes from Emumar, and that's, hi Fred. What got you interested in doing videos? I have enjoyed your videos tremendously. Have a great week. Again, I'm really into videos originally just to show off my guns and then to learn. Next is from Xzix7, and it is, out of everything you've reviewed, what is the one thing that stood out that you would recommend the most? Well, that's a really tough one. This might be a question that I cannot answer. You know, I think that the Sega AK rifle is something that I definitely would recommend if you're looking for any AK. You know, that's something that sticks in my head. It's just a awesome freaking gun. One of the Ruger Mark III's, whatever type it is another, you know, great target pistol. Or the Buckmark. I would recommend either one of these. You know, shooting, you should have a couple of 22 pistols because they're a lot cheaper to shoot, and it'll make your range time more enjoyable. If you just buy one of them bricks of 550 rounds, then just go to the range and it only costs $20. Next comes from High Desert Tactical. What is your most memorable YouTube video? My most memorable is when I was reviewing the Kiss 2-timer knife and I cut myself bad. And I finished the video off with a whole bunch of tape around my finger, and it took about 6 hours for it to stop bleeding. I probably should have went to the hospital instead of finishing that video. And it's pretty memorable. Next is from Baltrays, and this is another very long time subscriber and viewer, which I appreciate. He says, congrats on your 300 video, and thank you. We're getting close to the end. Next is from Archbishop Drunk. Here's one. Because I have this problem, when I find something, a knife, rifle, pistol, etc., that you start to really love, do you get skittish and baby it and never want to use it in fear of wearing it out? I've been doing that lately. And congrats, 300, man. Yeah, I definitely baby on my stuff. But then once you get enough stuff, you can pick the things you want to baby and the things that you want to use. Or you can just get two. And the one you put away and collect and baby, and the other one you shoot and wear out. Which I've done. I'm very guilty of this. So I like that question. Next is, what is the worst knife you ever bought and how much was it? It was a Gerber. It was the, I'll tell you what, I'll be right back because I want to give you the answer to this. Okay, I found it here on YouTube. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. It's called the Gerber Traverse. What a piece of freaking garbage this knife is. That knife right there. And I think they finally discontinued it. They realized it's such a hunk of junk. I should have returned that thing. That thing, it was loose. It had all kinds of play. And when you tried to, the pivot screws wouldn't adjust. And it was like falling apart. As soon as I got it, it was a royal piece of garbage. And it wasn't cheap either. I'm glad they discontinued it. No redeeming qualities to the thing in any way. The thumb stud was hard to get to because it was so up against the frame, and it was just a piece of Chinese junk that wasn't worth $5. And the last question that I have here as of late Sunday here is from Guns, Knives, Survivals, another long-time viewer, and I really appreciate it. A really good channel, highly recommend it. You know what to do. And he says, 300 awesome videos. Well, thank you very much. I'm not sure if I'm going to go further than this. That was answering 98 comments. So, I'm probably going to have to break this up into a whole bunch of videos. So now, what everyone's been waiting for, who wins the prize? Okay, so it's time to pick the winner for the Henry Cup. And I've just went through all the questions, and really the question that I'm picking is probably the hardest one that was for me to answer, but it's also one that all of us in the gun community need to start thinking about. And the question was, what would you do if Hillary signs the Small Arms Treaty and they asked everyone to turn in their guns? I know you're an oath keeper, but it is a scenario that I think people need to start thinking about. I mean, the question, mentions oath keepers, it mentions the Small Arms Treaty, and I'm ending this on a serious note because this was a very, very good question, and even though, from my cold dead hands is usually what most gun owners will say when crap hits the fan and the rubber meets the road and the SWAT team is surrounding your house, it's a much more difficult decision than you originally thought. So it's something that you should start thinking about now, and start weighing things out in your life very carefully, and maybe not let it get to this. Start doing what you can to fight for our rights so we don't have to get to this point. Very, very important subject, and a very, very good question. So the winner of the cup is Glynn72. That's GLYNN 72. Congratulations. I also said I'd throw in another small little gift. Well, here's something, and I actually gave somebody at work one of these too. They are probably the best keychain light there is. This is by Energizer. It has a high, a low, and a blink setting. This thing comes in so freaking handy, and it's made out of metal. It's pretty tough, and it rattles around in my pocket with all these keys and everything on a daily basis. I've replaced the batteries in it once. I've had it for about a year. I love this light, so I'm not going to give you my old one. I went ahead and picked up a new one. They're 13 lumens, really good. I've mentioned this in a review, highly recommend it. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in there. Also, I get it out to you, so go ahead and send me a IM or a PM, private message here on YouTube on where you'd like me to send this, and I'll get it out to you as quickly as possible. Awesome question. Okay, so I just updated my YouTube channel to say that the question period has ended. I can't answer anymore because I got to start editing this video. It's going to take at least a day to get this done, besides having to go to work. I did get one question that creeped in here at the end, and it came from Captain Fur. He asked... was it hard getting support from the family to do the YouTube project that I do? Not really. I mean, I don't have a very large family, so it doesn't take many people to support or to talk into supporting. So no, I mean they put up with me doing this and spending a lot of time locked up in my so-called man room doing videos and talking to you guys. So I do appreciate that my family lets me get away with as much as I do. So thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber. I don't just say that at the end of this video. And every once in a while I'd like to also throw in that I do appreciate those of you who are serving and have served in the military, and those who are serving as police. I don't like using the term law enforcement. So again, thank you very much, and I hope you have a awesome evening or weekend or whenever you're watching it. Have a good one.